Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel IELTS English. Today I'm going to talk about how IELTS students very easily understand native speakers language and how they can speak like the native speakers, how they can get higher score in pronunciation section. Okay, that's my main concern today and I'll be talking on this. Okay, before starting, I'm going to tell you some important tips for listening or speaking section. Firstly, I begin with listening. Okay, listening has so many types of questions. You have to, solve the questions. For this, you should have separate tricks for separate section of, listening audio. And you should also set up your mentality in such a way that you can shoot any sort of problems there in the questions. Okay, so for filling the gaps or summary completion questions, you have to set your mentality in different way. For true false or not given, you have to set your mentality in another way. And short question answer, and table filling and other types of questions, you have to set up your mentality differently. Okay, while preparing, you do not bother your mind compiling all the questions at once. That may puzzle you, that you may feel very much perplexed when you try to learn all types of questions and their tricks. That's a kind of burden to you. Okay, my suggestion here is to listen and prepare for separate question with separate tricks and strategies. Okay, and for to understand the listening of native speakers, as it's the examination set by Cambridge and managed by British Council and IDP Australia, you should be very much clever and you should be mindful and plentiful in terms of vocabulary and so many other theoretical aspects. Okay, so main thing is you shouldn't be stressed. Okay, you should be very much free of listening or preparing any type of question. You should feel relaxed and learn as much as you can. You try to increase or enrich your vocabulary, by reading bbc.co.uk. You can enjoy watching cricket and listening to the commentary of native speakers. And there are other ways like reading newspaper and searching so many YouTube channels with English materials. They are of idioms, they are of phrasal words and complex vocabulary, and try to understand all three types of sentences: simple, compound, and complex. All three types you try to understand how they are formed, how the phrase gives the meaning in that sort of complex sentence. You try to understand all. Okay, if you practice a lot, firstly with non-native speakers and then with native speakers, and certainly you can understand native speakers language, native speakers voice, and then you can catch what they are saying and what you are going to solve the question. Okay, that's very important. So that's why I have said the topics: how to understand native speakers language and how to speak like them, how we can speak like them so that we can increase this number in our speaking section. Okay, and then it's related mainly with listening and speaking. Okay, for listening and speaking to be very much proficient, you should also conjoin other skills like reading and writing. That also helps you. And for speaking, you should listen more. Okay, the more you listen, the more you can speak like native speakers. Okay, from any native speakers, they are in YouTube channel. You select one particular speaker or instructor of IELTS who is giving some tricks and strategies for your examination. Okay, so if you listen for so many days of that particular speaker, then suddenly you go to make your voice like him. You immediately copy the structures, the way of pronunciation as he has done. Okay, he or she has done. That's why I suggest you firstly you listen native speakers language, you try to get exposure, and then you try to be exposed with native speakers language. Okay, their voice, their speech you should be familiar with. Okay, and then you try speaking. Okay, the more you try, the better you can speak, because language is primarily spoken. Okay, so speaking and trying so many structures, practicing of your oral organs, these things help you a lot while speaking. Okay, that's why my suggestion for you is firstly you listen non-native speakers videos or sounds, and then you try and catch a single native arts instructor and listen his voice in YouTube. Okay, and then you try to manage these things. I'm going to talk about these very important things for catching listening of native speaker's voice, and then how you can speak like them. Okay, as I'm the student of education in major English, as I have an MA in major English, I have studied so many things phonetics and phonology that helped me a lot to pronounce like native speakers. I'm also in the course of learning this, but I hope I can sort out certain problems, and I can give you a little confidence on how we can tackle with listening and speaking of English. Okay, in IELTS examination. Okay, so the more you prepare well, the more comfortable you feel for your exam test day. Okay, the test day, if you are not well prepared, then you feel very much stressed and you cannot catch that. Okay, for listening, if you are distracted once, then you will be distracted for some question items. Okay, so you should be clever underlining the subtitles of listening topics. Okay, and then you try to catch them. If there is one question missing, you leave that and go to the next. Okay, if you do so, you won't be distracted. You shouldn't be hesitated. You shouldn't feel some sort of boredom inside the examination hall. Okay, you be relaxed. Okay, learn the things and do your best on test day. Okay, so at the end of this video, I'll also give you certain vocabularies with correct pronunciation, which are very usually spoken, usually used in our daily conversation. And before that, let me begin our topic. Okay, so aspiration is my topic today. Stress, intonation, major and minor words and how they work in sentence level, and word pronunciation also I talk a little, but I have already prepared different another video for word pronunciation, and there are so many yet to come. And very importantly, exposure. Okay, exposure is so important. You have to be exposed with the sounds of native and non-native speakers of English. Your mind should always be hit with those things. Even if you are sleeping, you should on the switch on the YouTube channel and sleep there. Directly or consciously or unconsciously, you learn English structures and English pronunciation. And at the end, we will also talk about example sentences or utterances, how the sentences are uttered, okay, by native speakers, and what's our weakness in catching them. So these all are to be discussed today. Okay, so without any delay, let's go to our topic. It's aspiration. Okay, aspiration. You might have heard this aspiration. Aspiration is, the puff of sound, puff of air from the mouth while producing a particular syllable. Okay? For example, in English, what happens? This call becomes call-like. Okay, that's why the native speaker don't say cats, they say cats. Okay, there is puff of air, there is puff of air in their mouth. Cat, cat. Okay, it's a cat. Okay, cats. It's cats. Okay, to be correct, it's cats. Okay, and then another for paw sound, they speak like paw. Okay, they speak like paw. If they are talking about pen, pen, they say pen. It's not pen, but pen. Okay, there is aspiration. And then if it's the matter of talk, T-A-L-K, talk, they don't say talk, they say talk. Okay, so talk becomes tall like air. So aspiration is all about this. Aspiration is ka becoming ka like, pa becoming pa like, and ta becoming ta like. Okay, you may notice this. Okay, it's not calculator, but it's calculator. Okay, calculator. Okay, it's not program, is program, right? It's not take, take is take. It's not take, it's take. Okay, you try to produce like thought. You try to produce like thought and God. Okay, native speakers maintain aspiration exactly. Okay. So if we are familiar with this, then we can very easily understand their voice. Okay. So number 2 is stress. Okay. So you might have heard stress before. It's the extra force, extra energy we use while speaking certain words. Okay. Keep in your mind that there are 2 types of words in English. There are 2 types of words in English. They are functional and content words. Okay, content words, they carry the meaning, but the functional, they just come to complete the functions of a sentence. Okay, so what do we say? Major and minor for that. We say major for content word and minor for functional words. Content words are, these words are stressed. Okay. These words are stressed in sentence level, right? And then look at this sentence, you will be clear. The native speaker says, she is dancing on the stage. Okay? We are habituated with this. But if there is foreign speaker, he or she doesn't focus on these minor words. This is article, this is preposition, it's auxiliary, it's pronoun. They do not focus on them. They just make a slip there. Okay? They just touch and go to main content words. So for this, they say, she's dancing on the stage. She's dancing on the stage. Dancing and stage are content words, and they are stressed here. Okay, and another way is English is stress time language. It's stress time language. So stress brings change in meaning in English. That's why you should be very much focused. You should study about stress. For example, if I say I love you, focusing on this, I love you, then not others, but I love you. Okay, this means no others but I love you. But if we stress love, I love you, then this means you don't hate. Okay, you love is focused. And if there is you stressed, then not others but you is loved here. Okay, so there is variation in meaning because of the use of stress in sentence label. Okay, so that's for stress. And we go to intonation. So intonation in sentence label, there is something with down drift and down step of your tone process. Okay, in communication. For example, if we say yes, it may have different meaning. Then if you say yes, okay, so intonation has something with attitude. Okay, something with emotion. Okay, that's why intonation brings changes in meaning. Okay, in English. That's why you have to try to learn about intonation. Okay, so for major and minor word, I don't waste time. You just keep in your mind major words which are stressed and minor words which are not stressed. So these are nouns, verbs, adjective and adverbs. Okay, these four are major words. And articles, auxiliaries, prepositions. These minor words, very small words, they are not stressed in English. Okay, so there is change in meaning. That's why. Okay, so nouns are stressed. They are given extra energy while speaking. And verbs, adjectives and adverbs. These four types of words are stressed. These minor words are not stressed and they are given less energy, less focus while speaking in sentence level. Okay? Our next is word pronunciation. You should be, well known about how the particular words are pronounced. Okay? It is the pronunciation section for understanding, listening, audio, and for your speaking. It's very important. Okay, I'll also make some other videos related to pronunciation. Okay, another one is exposure. I have already talked a little about it. Okay, exposure is what we listen, what we read, what we hear. These all hit in our mind, the atmosphere, the environment. Okay, that's very important. That's why you should try to listen more and more videos. Try to read authentic news. Okay, try to watch the games. There are native speakers commenting on and so on. Okay, so for this I'll give you how important exposure is. So with an example. I'll give you my own example how exposure works for learning any language. Okay, as I have known about 7 languages, I am also the instructor of Korean language. Okay, I can speak all the more languages. So I have very deep study over this. Once I was to teach in a college where Bhojpuri language was their native language. Okay. Their mother tongue was Bhojpuri and they used to, majority of my students, they used to speak in Bhojpuri language. But I had no idea, okay? But while sleeping, I used to, there is some sort of buzzing sound in my mind with this expression, Kathi Bada, Hanawa, Aiba, these used to come in my mind unconsciously without my deliberate effort. Okay? So, if you are sleeping, you play the English video, English audio and just listen. Directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, you learn the certain songs, certain expressions or utterances of language. Okay? That's why your mind should be hit with the expressions of English. Learn it very easily. Okay, exposure has huge significance in learning any language. Okay, we have to be exposed with native and non-native both English. Okay, so another one I'm going to talk about is example sentences or utterances. As I had already given one sentence, she is dancing on the stage. Okay, another song can be we say, "What is your name?" But now you are able to find the functional and content word here. What is your? This is. These all are functional words, and name is content word. Okay? So native speakers, they stress on name, and they do not give much energy here while speaking. What's the name? They speak like this. What's the name? Okay? They just slip their, mouth, slip their, sound here and go to name, which is stressed one. Name is noun, so it's stressed, and there it happens. And in the matter of major and minor word, for example, what is black and white TV. Okay? See what is black and white TV. Here, this is functional word and it's functional word, and they have weaker, contribution in this sentence. She watches black and white TV. This and becomes black and white. Okay? She watches black and white TV. Okay? So we cannot catch this. Okay? What is and? We search for and, but they just sleep here and then go to white. Black and white is black and white. That's why this is weak. This is weak. It's strong. These are strong forms. Okay, so strong and weak concept. For example, if there is the case of off, they say up. If that's the case of TO2, they say tur. Okay, I got to temple. Okay, if there is case of have, they say I've done it. I've done it. Okay, so we confuse on that. That's why learning about strong and weak forms is not very important to catch listening and gain good marks in speaking. Okay, I hope you may understand the things I was going to teach you. Keep watching my video. There are more to come. Okay, you will learn so many things, especially related to IELTS. Okay. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all skills, all steps, all strategy, tricks, and tips. I'll keep on giving back. So keep watching, keep subscribing, and touch bell icon. Thank you. That's it for today.